Hey, what's up, shipmates? I'm Russ, and this is the Dapper Dividends podcast. That's a little bit of an old-timey feel to it. I should get something like, I was thinking today about some of the video game music that I played when I was a kid, particularly on Sega Genesis. I was thinking about Streets of Rage. If anybody's played Streets of Rage, hit me up, let me know. But I don't know, maybe I'll drop some in the background. I thought that would be an awesome background music to have, some of that early 90s neo-futuristic music. Anyway, hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining me on the channel here. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Podcast, wherever you are, whenever you are, because you're in the future from me right now, and that's the only place you can be. So, hello, future people. What's up? And of course, again, thank you for letting me be a small part of your investing journey and sharing some of the almost 20 years of knowledge I've picked up that I've been investing and sharing it with you. I really, truly do appreciate it. All I have today is, check it out. I have some notes here scribbled down sloppily on a piece of paper. And what we're going to talk about is 4 companies that have recent dividend raises that their dividend increases have beaten inflation almost on one of them, and they have a over 2% yield almost on one of those, as we'll get to. And because you want to. Inflation is a little bit high right now, but you know what? First off, I told you last week I was going to Notre Dame. We went to Notre Dame, had a great time. I had never been to a game before, so it was a little interesting finding parking. $50 we paid. We paid $50 to park, but there was 5 of us, so we split it up. We wanted to be close, so that really wasn't that bad. But what a great game! Notre Dame pounded on Navy. Wasn't even close, but really cool. We got to sit next to the midshipmen. I don't know where they came from, but just underneath the scoreboard at the top of the stadium was all the midshipmen in their dress blue uniforms. Now, the midshipmen are people that are going to the Naval Academy, and they are not officers yet. Now, the way it works, from what I remember, is you go to Naval Academy for 4 years. You're basically getting a college degree, and you're learning to be an officer. And then you have, I think it's a 6-year commitment to the United States Navy when you get out of Naval Academy. So, very cool. What is that noise? Nice. It's a little bit wheezy. Sounds like Wheezy Waiter on YouTube. What's up, you Wheezy Waiter? Anyway, so Naval Academy, when you graduate Naval Academy, you go to the fleet. You have to give 6 years of your life. So God bless these men and women midshipmen that they are going to be naval officers, and they're going to have... sorry, that's freaking crazy. Do you hear that? What is the deal with that? Anyway, this will forever be known as the Wheezy Podcast episode. We shall always reference number 101 as the Wheezy episode. So I'm fine, you're fine. Let's go on. Salute to the men and women of all the armed forces everywhere in the world. We truly do appreciate your service. And again, with those naval midshipmen, they're giving 10 years of their life commitment in order to serve their country. So that was really cool. We got to sit next to them. They had their band, and it was just a beautiful day all around. We had so much fun doing that. So yeah, if you're not familiar, welcome again. This is the podcast. This is low edit. We're up there without a wire. No, we're up there without a net. Now that would be pretty amazing if we were up there without a wire. That would be damn near miraculous. I'm not that good. I'm not that perfect yet. We're working on it. We're getting better. It's like it's getting better every day. That is Tesla. Ponder the band Tesla and Tesla stock as I take a sip of this Steiner. They're not an affiliate, but I wish they were. Wet the whistle is what we'll do. So anyway, I'm doing this. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But when I can do this, it's just so low edit. I don't edit anything, as you can tell. So let me know what you think about this. I really do appreciate the feedback. Any constructive criticism and feedback, I really do appreciate it because I want to share information that can help you be a better investor and build a lifetime's worth of passive income and create generational wealth, not just for you, but something you can pass down to your kith and kin and posterity that comes after you. And one thing I was thinking about as I was sitting in traffic, as I do quite a bit, was I was thinking about this metaverse that's coming, and a lot of people aren't familiar with it, and it's really cool because, as I tweeted out, if you're more concerned with your online persona, like what people think of you, people use filters on their Instagram and Facebook, and my wife will show me pictures of people, and I'm like, dude, they don't look like that. These people, they look cartoonish to me, which is crazy because I think that's the way we're going, where you'll have an avatar and you'll be able to walk around the metaverse. People say you'll just go hang out with somebody at their metaverse place that they bought. They'll have metaverse land. You'll be able to flex stuff and show things. Like when I was a kid, I can't even imagine that. So basically, Topps cards. I loved collecting Topps cards. When I was a kid, my grandfather would pay me a penny a weed in the summertime. And there was never any weeds in his yard and the neighbors' yards because I would go looking for weeds to bring to him and show him. So I could ride my bike to the convenient store. It was called Convenient here in the Chicagoland area. And I would buy Topps baseball cards and football cards. But now it looks like cards are going to be going digital, be online. I guess you'll be able to display them. If you get a great card, the whole world can see it. So really cool things that are happening. And I said, if you're more concerned about your online persona and what people think about you online than offline, you're already in the metaverse. So it's just one step into that direction that you're going to lean into. And speaking of crypto, so a lot of these metaverses like Decentraland, which their token is Mana, M-A-N-A, they're up. Crypto is up and gold is up. And to tie it all back into to what this is about is that I don't think it's any accident. I think that people are smarter to not believe what we're told and to know that inflation is coming, that it's coming, it's already here, as we're going to see in a minute here. And that's why the stores of value, particularly Bitcoin and gold, I think is at about a 2-month high. Sneakily, we're not hearing about gold because everybody's focused on Bitcoin. But I think that's why Bitcoin is just screaming up, because people are looking for places to leapfrog inflation and to just, hey, it's crazy. You may not like it, but anything has value as long as people want it. And if people want it, doesn't matter what it is. It could be somebody's belly button lint, but if millions of people want that belly button lint, then the damn thing is going to have value. So until people don't want Bitcoin, it is going to have value. So the consumer price index, whenever you're watching this, today came out, and year over year, it is up. It hasn't increased this much in 1 year in over 30 years. So that just tells me that inflation is here. It's not subsiding yet, but it's still picking up. And this is why I preach, find those companies that are able to raise their prices. Look at profit. Profit margins are going to be key. If we see companies that have falling and shrinking profit margins, then that means they don't have pricing power and they're not able to raise their prices and people pay it. But, there's going to be a threshold here because, McDonald's is not going to be able to raise their prices so high that people are paying $35 for a Big Mac. People will just shift their spending habits, and it's going to reach a point where just people won't pay it. So, but until that happens, look for companies that have decent balance sheets and have that pricing power, kind of like my beautiful Pepsi does. That's one of the reasons why I'm so confident buying my share of Pepsi that I've been doing for this week. Will be the 74th week that I've bought a share of Pepsi, which is kind of crazy, but hey, we're getting there. And so Pepsi, McDonald's, those are a couple companies that have good pricing power. And one thing we have as investors to our advantage is that we don't have to be like a lot of these fund managers where they have to check in every 2 years, 3 years and show what they've done and show their results. This is a huge advantage to us because there's almost 6,000 stocks, I believe, out there. We hear about some of the same, 50, 60, Tesla, Facebook, Yahoo, Google, Apple. Those are kind of like the products in the front of the store. That's what the media wants us to see. But there's so many others. If you want to find a great, we love going to Target, and I'm always looking at the clearance aisle to see what's there. So yeah, I find really valuable things in the clearance aisle at Target and Walmart. So much the same, kind of like stocks. We can find companies that aren't in the mainstream that are basically on clearance and nobody's talking about them. So that is one thing that we really have a leg up on some of the professional investors, because we can find these companies that are on sale or small. Some investors, they can't buy companies that are under a certain dollar price. Things that are out of favor. So it's really cool to know that you have an advantage. We have an advantage. And sometimes that's why I say know the game you're playing. Because when I buy a share of Pepsi, I want to hold that for the next till I die. And other people might be holding it for 2 years, hoping it goes up just enough so they can show that they have better results. So we don't have to check in. And again, I tweeted out, when you invest like you're on a diet, the best diets, not necessarily our keto or Atkins or any diet, the best diets are the ones you can stick to. Just like investing, the best investing is to know what your goal is and have a specific goal. Not just, I want more money, that's too fuzzy, but have a specific concrete number, dollar sign, year, whatever it is that you have, and just stick to it. Know that you'll be able to stick through it through bad times and good times, just like a diet. So let's get into the inflation. The newest number that I could find was on Statista, and it's the month of September 2021. It's 5.4% inflation, which is pretty crazy because not that long ago it was under 2%. So, man, they can say what they want, but it's coming. So I have 4 companies that increase their dividend over 5.4%, so over the current inflation rate. These were recent dividend increases in the last 3 weeks or so. And I have 4 of them that I have an over 2% yield, and they gave decent raises. So let's just, and they are dividend achievers. Now, a dividend achiever is when the company has increased their dividend for 10 years in a row. An aristocrat is 25 years. I believe a contender is 20. I should have verified that. And a dividend king is 50 years. So we love dividend king. So first up, we have, you know what? Ponder the fate and existence of yourself on this mortal plane. I can't think. Just hold on a second. Wonderful product from Germany. First up is the Hartford Financial Services Group, ticker HIG, currently at $72.49. Now, they increased their dividend from 35 cents to 38.5 cents, which was a 10% raise. That was a 10% increase. And they have been increasing their dividend for 12 years. So very nice. They're a dividend achiever. And now, depending on when you're watching this, if their price drops, their yield is going to be over 2, because right now, according to NASDAQ, it's 1.96%. So if they drop a few bucks, then it'll be over 2. But hey, it's close enough. And it's just, I wanted to give you 4 companies. So the first one is the Hartford Financial Services Group. Next up, number 2 DTE Energy, ticker DTE. That's DTE Energy Company, ticker DTE. I wish that they have a share price of $113.16. So DTE Energy raised their dividend from 0.825, so 82.5 cents to 88.5 cents. And that was an increase of 7.27%. So we're beating that 5.4% current inflation number. And that was 7.27% raise. And they have been increasing their dividend for 13 years. So another dividend achiever on the list. Currently with a yield of 2.94%. Now, a lot of energy companies and a lot of utilities are treated like bond proxies, meaning that when interest rates are low, people are hungry for solid yield because in a nutshell, a lot of the energy companies, because they're regulated, basically the government is regulating them to have a mini monopoly. And yeah, they might not be able to increase over a certain rate, but people need energy, people need electricity, natural gas, and these companies are going to provide it. So just some food for thought. When interest rates tick up, a lot of the utilities, they will come back down because people will jump out of them and back into bonds. Number 3, saw these guys, saw one of their trucks when we were on vacation this summer to the Black Hills, which is Black Hills Corp, ticker BKH, currently at $66.43 a share. Recently, they raised their dividend from 56.5 cents to 59.5 cents. That was a 5.31% raise. And Black Hills Corporation is a dividend king that has been raising their dividend for 51 consecutive years. Their current yield, according to NASDAQ, is 3.49%. Now, you got to love that. Again, and these numbers are quarterly numbers. I should have said that. So, Black Hills Corporation, again, another utility, saw them. They're in the Black Hills area of South Dakota and Wyoming over there. In those parts yonder. I'm just going to do the next one like that with a southern voice, if y'all don't mind. I might. I don't want to be able to try and keep that up. Okay, so are we ready to move on for number 4? And number 4, that was drum roll. I wasn't overcome with the spirit. That was number 4 is AbbVie, ticker ABBV. So AbbVie is at $116.77. Boy, I miss buying them in the 80s and 90s. And I remember thinking $90 when it was 92. I think I bought a small tranche at. Boy, I wish we could go back to that, quite honestly. So AbbVie raised their dividend from $1.30 per share to $1.41, which was good for an 8.46% raise. AbbVie has been raising their dividend. Now remember, they broke off from Abbott Laboratories, which I've worked at both as a subcontractor, way up there at Abbott Park, over by North Chicago, over by where I went to boot camp in the Great Lakes, Naval Station Great Lakes and all that. So AbbVie has been increasing their dividend for 48 years, and they currently have a dividend yield of 4.48%, which is just outstanding yield for an outstanding company, and they are close to becoming a dividend king. 2 more years, I think they're going to hit it, so expect at least 2 more increases from AbbVie, and those are 4 companies that have increased their dividend greater than inflation. You know what? Note, Black Hills Corp was a 5.31% raise. Now, I didn't see my scribble scrabble here, but I was supposed to point out to you that it's pretty close. That's close. 5.31 and inflation was 5.4. So, hey, you know what? Just go with it. It's a really solid dividend raise, and I like that from a utility company. So, as we saw here, if you'd like to buy this guy, how's that joke go? What has 2 thumbs and wants a beer? This guy. This guy wants a beer, pulling up his sleeves. We're rolling up our sleeves. We're going to get out of here. And do you know what? I wish I had the Pee Wee music. Tell me if you remember Pee Wee Herman. That ending music. Look, I'll get all misty-eyed. When he was putting on his helmet and he would say the word of the day, and like Warsteiner, and the bells would ring, and then the music would start. He'd pull the trapdoor. Oh my God, I loved that because it was like so sad that Pee Wee was leaving, and it meant that Saturday morning was kind of ending. So, yeah, as a kid of the '80s, man, I loved Saturday morning with Pee Wee, Gummy Bears, Transformers. They had, you know what? I love it. My grandfather was a Czech, and English was his second language. I remember him standing on the couch behind me when Pee Wee Herman was on, and he'd say, "Yasha Shmadia, what's the matter with this guy?" He's like, "He's goofy. Something wrong with him." It says Pee Wee Herman, Grandpa. He's like, "Well, something's wrong with him." You know, he might have been right. Good old Paul Rubens. You got to love the guy that played Pee Wee Herman. So that was Pee Wee Herman. And if you'd like, you can buy me a beer. Click the link in the description below at Buy Me a Coffee. You can buy me a beer. And I did do that video. I said I was going to do an upload on politicians. So if you would like to see the stocks for yourself, I teach you and I show you exactly what I use. If you would like to see how politicians, not how, but if you'd like to see what crypto and stocks, amongst other things, that United States politicians on Capitol Hill are buying and selling and what they're trading, then click the video right here on YouTube and in the description below on the podcast. And I will talk to you in the next video.